What is going on, everybody? Zac Graham here for FTNDaily.com, breaking down game week 48 on the NBA side of things at Sorare. If you haven't signed up yet for Sorare, you can click the link in the description of this video. And when you make your first 5 purchases on the primary marketplace over at Sorare, you're going to get a 6th limited card for free. Not a bad deal getting started there at Sorare with that free limited card. So make sure you use that link in the description of this video. Let's get into game week 48, and we'll start as always in the marketplace. Some of my favorite scarcity card buys here. We're typically sticking in that limited tier. And we'll start up top as we always do. We've talked a lot about Anthony Davis over the last 2 or 3 game weeks, and he still remains a strong play, but I do want to highlight now, this is an expensive play, but if you have the means, or if you already have a Luka in your collection, the Mavericks clearly still going for it. There was a little bit, get that Luka Garza out of here. There was a little bit of speculation, rumors surrounding the Mavericks potentially shutting down both Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving to end the season. Still appears like they're going to play it out here, battling with the Thunder there for that 10th and final spot in the play-in tournament. Luka now below $200 as a low ask. So if you can get a Luka, or you already have a Luka, he is my favorite spend up this week, especially in any contest with the MVP format where that 52 cap potentially doesn't count against you. The 2 games remaining for the Mavericks against the Bulls and the Spurs this weekend. I mentioned the Thunder there. You want to get a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, obviously a lot cheaper than your Luka there. 48 cap hit this week, about a $64 low ask for SGA right now. And then, you can still get to Anthony Davis and LeBron James as the Lakers continue they're trying to make that push for the 6th. Setback against the Clippers the other night really hurt their chances of grabbing a top 6 seed, but still in the cards, so I expect these guys to play. Still just a 51 cap hit on Anthony Davis, and you notice, I hope that you got your Anthony Davis limited card over the last 2 game weeks when we've been featuring him on this preview video. He's now up to right around $100 on a low ask at that 51 cap, as people are, snapping up these Anthony Davis cards, which we could get for like $50, $60, $70 a week ago. As the playoff contests near. That's what we got next. Play-in next week, then the first round of the playoffs. And we know the prizes for those playoff contests are rumored to be extremely cool. Real life rewards, playoff tickets, VIP experiences, merch, things like that. So again, Anthony Davis, that price rising, but I still think a decent buy and a good play this week as the Lakers take on the Suns, who are set, and the Jazz, who are out. So Anthony Davis should be able to do whatever he pleases against the backups from those respective teams over the weekend. LeBron, much cheaper, and just a 40 cap hit this week, $64 for a LeBron limited right now. And again, if you think the Lakers make the playoffs, LeBron may be one of the best buys you can have in that, all-star tier level of player, or at least player name here on the primary market. Some other teams that I just wanted to highlight a little bit. We've got Orlando. They sat a bunch of guys on Thursday. They were expected to sit all those guys tonight. But now this morning, all 5 of their starters and Mo Wagner, who was ruled out last night, all upgraded to questionable. So maybe Orlando, who was eliminated earlier this week from play-in contention, maybe they're going to run those starters out there, in which case you don't want to get to values like Goga Bitadze, like Bol. You look at Goga here, just $4. If all those guys that are questionable do sit, I love Goga Bitadze. You can also get to Bol, who had a great game last night. Helped fantasy guru Drew. Shout out to Drew. Congrats to him again. Absolute insane NBA DFS season for him, taking down that 50K last night. Bol, $5 low ask, but that jumps up really quickly to about $10. So again, if those Magic guys sit, I like the Magic values on the Sorare marketplace. You can still talk about Charlotte, Washington, Denver now, which has nothing to play for, they have secured the number 1 seed out west. They sat their starters last night against the Suns. So you can go back to guys like Bruce Brown, like Reggie Jackson, like Peyton Watson. Let's see what Peyton Watson is going for right now, if he's got cards. The rookie for Denver, $350 right now for a Peyton Watson. And again, as they continue to sit guys over the weekend, 2 games against Utah and Sacramento, I like those Denver values. Again, we've talked about Washington. We've talked about Charlotte. Johnny Davis for Washington, still a great play. Kendrick Nunn, some of those other guards. And then on the Charlotte side of things, James Bouknight, Dennis Smith is probably not going to play again. So Teo Maledon, if he's got cards out there, let's just search, see if Teo Maledon is on the marketplace. Looks like just that super rare tier. So we're not going to go for Teo Maledon super rare. So obviously you can't get to him, but the most important thing, just like on the DFS side of things tonight, you need to be in tune with the news. And I wouldn't be setting any of these so rare lineups in stone until right before lock. And again, keep in mind that these so rare lineups will lock 10 minutes before your typical DFS slate lock. So if we've got a 7 p.m. Eastern lock tonight, that means 6:50 p.m. Eastern, your so rare lineups will lock. So trying to balance, your DraftKings, your FanDuel lineups with your so rare builds. Make sure, just keep in mind you've got that earlier lock for so rare. So let's go ahead and build my common contest this week. Doesn't look like our rewards are in for last week. I know the common contest, we got dinged by Jalen Brunson not playing. He sat out for injury management. So that 0, I think it was a tier 4 or 5 common, by far our worst performance since we began these videos a little over a month ago. But we're looking to bounce back this week, and it did get a little limited card reward. So interested to see what I pull later on this afternoon once those come in. I've got some placeholder lineups. You can see I've got placeholder lineups in there just in case I forget or something comes up. I've got something in there that will score fantasy points. But again, all of these teams that I've got built out right now, these are most likely going to change, and potentially drastically, with the news that will come out throughout the rest of the day. You can count on one hand at this point the number of teams that are playing for something. So that's going to factor into our decisions here in the common pickup contest. Again, this is MVP format. So my top capped player here, you see Jokic 58, Giannis 55, Joel Embiid 52. I don't think any of those guys play this weekend as they're locked in to their respective seeds. But we mentioned Luka Doncic at the top. He's going to be my MVP in this pickup contest this week. At least tonight, Dallas is going to play and go full go against the Bulls here. So I like getting Luka in there, not counting against my cap. You see Anthony Davis right below him. I'll lock him in as well. Again, Lakers playing Phoenix and Utah, 2 teams that have nothing to play for and are likely to sit starters. And so you could also go SGA here. Again, Thunder have 1 game remaining. They need to win to hold off the Dallas Mavericks. Brandon Ingram, Pelicans still battling for positioning in the play-in. Steph Curry trying to hold off the play-in and clinch a top 6 seed. So there are plenty of options here. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to double stack LeBron and Anthony Davis, because if these games are competitive, both of those guys should play big minutes, still trying to make that push. If they don't get into that top 6, they want that 7 seed to host that first play-in game, hopefully take care of business next Tuesday, and not have to play in that do-or-die game for the 8 seed on Friday. So stacking up those Lakers for now, things are going to change between this video and when we hit lock at 6:50 p.m. Eastern. So scrolling all the way down, I've got 29 cap points remaining. So there's a ton of options down here at this point of the season. I mean, Isaiah Jackson going to get run, Paul Reed, potentially Davion Mitchell if the Kings sit their guys tonight. The Kings are all questionable. So that's another team we could have touched on looking at the marketplace for some of their values. Jabari Walker with the shorthanded Portland Trailblazers. Maybe not shorthanded, just completely tanking. They've got an entire new roster running out there the last couple of games. Doke Azubuike for the Jazz, Walker Kessler is out the rest of the year. He's been starting. Terrence Davis potentially shorthanded Kings tonight. There's so many options you could get to down here. Boban, if the Rockets ever sat anybody, they've been playing those top 6 guys big minutes to close the season. Here's what I'm going to do. We know Joel Embiid is out tonight, so Paul Reed should get the start here. Potentially Dwayne Dedmon gets in there, but I do think Paul Reed gets some extended minutes here. We know what he can do in a short amount of time. One of the better fantasy point per minute performers in the league. You see it back 2-3 game weeks ago, against the Nuggets. Less than 30 minutes in that one, 35 Sorare points. So it's 17 cap. Like, he's not the cheapest value out there on Sorare this week, but I'm going to slot him in there. And then with all those questionable Sacramento Kings tonight, I think Terrence Davis is my best option here. And if those Kings guys play for some reason, wouldn't expect full minutes, but still not going to go to Terrence Davis if he's not going to get potentially that starters type run. So I could go to Dominic Barlow. I could go to David Roddy. I could go to Udoka Azubuike with that extra point of salary cap I have remaining. But for now, I'm going to lock in Terrence Davis. That's how the team looks here before lunchtime, Central Time. So again, all of these teams subject to change and probably will change leading up to lock. So if you have any questions, want a second pair of eyes, or just want to discuss anything about Sorare on the NBA side of things, don't hesitate to reach out on Twitter at KawhiSenbergDFS or tag me in the FTN Daily Discord channels. Always happy to talk Sorare. And again, if you have not signed up yet for Sorare, use the link in the description of this video and you will get a 6th limited card for free after the purchase of your first 5 cards on the primary marketplace here at Sorare. That does it for the regular season. We'll see what Sorare has in mind, if anything, for the play-in games next week. But we know those playoff contests, they are ramping up the prizes. It should be a blast over the next 2.5 months throughout the NBA playoffs here on Sorare. So I'm excited to experience that along with you all for the first full season of NBA here on Sorare. And we'll be back next week. Good luck in your final regular season game week here. Game week 48. Let's get it, everybody. Good luck, and we'll see you back here on Monday.